I bought you chips and shit.
Have y'all ever? I remember somebody specifically told me they wanted me to ask this question. Have y'all ever or experienced a trauma bond? For those who don't know what a trauma bond, you know what a trauma bond is?
Yeah.
Y'all know what a trauma bond is? For those who don't know,
The one bottle in his hand is crazy.
what trauma? My word. What trauma bonding is basically you're forming like a connection with. It could be an abuser, a manipulator, whoever it is, and because like,
or even a peer.
yeah.
We've all done that though.
You can form it out of friendships too. Friendships, whatever it is. Like when it's something that basically you're going through these traumatic experiences or whatever it is, and you're forming bonds with a person or a situation.
Also going through shit
because they appear safe. In any other circumstances, you might not form that bond, but because in that moment they appear safe to you, and
This backfires.
I don't say necessarily backfire, but like you just form a bond with that person because of that, right? Have you ever had any experience with that?
I mean, I think black people, like our second language is trauma bonding for the most part.
talk about it.
That's
not
what
lying.
That's what we do. You know what I mean? Like we just relate to one another by talking about all the fucked up shit we've been through, and because we both have a similar story and walk of life, we can relate. You know what I mean? So we do it all the time. I was chilling with my girl the other day, and you know, she's had a hard life. You know what I mean? So she frequently speaks about things that she's been through. You know what I mean? Because it's just a part of her life. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
At this point, because I've been with her for a significant amount of time, like now I just be like, we're not gonna trauma bond today. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, bro, we can only do this for so long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before we've had the stories they don't change. They're memories, you know what I mean? So we can't go back in time, you know what I mean? I think it's more worth our while to be progressive and optimistic and do what we can to create new things, you know what I mean? But trauma bonding is just some shit as a culture. It's just a part of our shit. Movies be, a whole movie, Medea is trauma bonding. Mm-hmm. You know?
I'm ashamed of any of y'all that still watch that, man. But okay. For real.
Yeah.
Shit, look at us.
Yeah.
No dad.
Real talk. It's happening now.
We became great friends.
But I don't think it would. Go ahead.
I mean, our shit started. I don't feel like it was trauma bonding. I feel like one of the first conversations I had with him was just like, "Yo, you a freshman, but you're not a freshman for real. Like,
Yeah.
especially not on this court. Like, nah, for real.
Yo, this man is a dad, son. You know how he just said that? Like,
I'm saying,
Now, my
Like, you a
first little
freshman, but you
interaction
not
with the
freshman.
nigga was like Coach Five was like, yo, this is my other player, Leon, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, he'll help you around, whatever, exchanging from there. I told niggas, literally my first day, that nigga took me on like a big brother.
oh, you hear this? But you how he just said that? Like, you're not a freshman for real. Like, you got it.
I wasn't.
Relax.
yeah,
Say like,
thing
all
is-
right.
the thing is,
Crazy.
I could have sworn we was all freshmen.
Yo, bro, I wasn't.
You know what I'm
Nigga.
saying? Like,
I wasn't, nigga. I wasn't.
because the thing is, for me, when I first became a freshman, it wasn't nobody older on the team that really like put me under their wing for real. Like there was older dudes that was there. Like shout out to Rod. Rod like was really on me about my confidence from early when I first got there. But the niggas that was really like there with me was the other freshmen, because you know we all going through the same shit. Like we all trying to prove ourselves, do whatever. So I always told myself like, yo, once I get to that spot and I'm at older one, I'm going to like be observant and whatnot. So like when I saw you, I was really just like, yo, I see a lot of myself in you, but clearly you was way better than me. So I'm like, yo, you as a freshman, you are far beyond wherever the fuck I was when I was younger, especially like people that was around me my freshman year. So I'm like, I always want to be like, yo, bro, you a freshman, but you damn sure don't walk like you.
Yeah. Like
Your
literally.
first game, man, you dropped fucking 20, 26, 24 points.
Yeah.
Man.
Like, because it's
That's
crazy because
aight.
our first yeah, nah, because like literally, like, he would just put me on certain things, and he would always say that, bro, like yo, even sometimes even Floyd would say like, yo, way beyond where the fuck I was at, and it was like sometimes you kind of be like, okay, like, you know what I mean, it's kind of like a nervousness to it, but then like I kind of saw what he mean,
you start embracing it and realizing
right?
it's
Like
true.
it was like, okay, I see what he mean, and that just came from me always being around older crowds, so I always knew how to be. Like, I had to always adjust to being with older people. Like, my sister is 6 years older than me. Her birthday was just yesterday. She's like 6, 7 years older than me,
Okay.
right? So it's like when she would bring her friends around, I can't be on no little kid shit.
Kid shit.
Mind you, because her friends look good, nigga.
I knew we was friends, my boy.
So it's like, you feel me? Like, but also too, I don't want to be on no weird shit when they was there. So I would just start changing how I would move, and I saw that they was fucking with it. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like so then from there, and then also
All
too,
starts with women.
and then also too, I ain't gonna lie,
Yes.
me being a Denzel fan, I started mirroring a nigga at a young age. You know what I'm saying? So it just changed how I move. So that the women, it was just like, all right, nigga, you gotta move more mature.
Accordingly.
So it was like from there, I guess, you know, people like Leon, other people always be like, oh, yeah, you're more mature for your age. And in my mind, I'm like, really? Shit, I still feel like my age though. Like, but I always took that shit as like as a compliment. It was like something to like to walk in. You know what I mean?
fire.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I guess I'll go. What was the question?
Trauma bonding.
Trauma bonded. Have I ever trauma bonded?
Have you ever formed one?
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, I can't tell you specifically. I mean, I could, but I don't think I should.
I don't know, bro.
Nah, I'm like,
Oh.
nah, there was like two. There's like two people. I feel like that I know that I can think of. There's like two people I probably trauma bonded with, and those are the people like that were close to my hip like every day. You know what I'm saying? Like every day, like. And when I thought you said trauma bond, I thought you meant like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? They went through some shit too, and I went through some shit, so we just kind of like bonded.
Yeah.
Through some shit.
That's what
Okay,
a trauma
cool.
bond is.
So those two people were really like, I ain't gonna lie, like,
It's one somewhere like you can form it with the person that's doing it to you, but then sometimes you can form it with other people, but just because of that connection. That
yeah. So one of them was like my brother for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had a falling out. You know what I'm saying? And now it's now right now currently to a point where like we're trying to like make up for that time in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like slowly at a pace comfortable for us. Where it's like, all right, let's, you know what I'm saying? Because like we knew we were immature. You know what I mean? At least from my perspective. The other one, mean a lot. You know what I'm saying? And like that, I don't think I'm gonna get that back.
What?
Like just that relationship, that kind of like that person. You know, we trauma bonded, but we ended up falling out on my part, and at that point, it kind of
I think I know who he's talking about.
whether or not you know who I'm talking about doesn't matter.
I'm trying to
End of the day,
connect the dot.
I have had. I say I have with two people, and now I feel like by the end of a trauma bond, that's what I really want to get to. When you're at the end of a trauma bond, it kind of sucks, cause it's kind of like that's the codependency. You know what I'm saying? That's like, yo, we've seen each other go through some shit. You know what I'm saying? Or we've been through some shit together.
Or we put each other through.
Or we put each other through some shit. I lie, so that makes 3 people. But you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, but you know, like in a weird way too. It kind of, I mean, for me, my experience with one person, it kind of like helps base a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me explain real quick. In the sense that I know who you are from what you've gone through. So I will respect that person, you know what I'm saying? But also because I've seen what you've gone through. At least this is my thinking.
No, yeah, yeah.
What you've gone through, I'll essentially, you know, talk, react, and approach you as such in a positive manner where you can become a better person. That's what I mean by that. You know what I mean? But that's, yeah.
I'll go last.
Damn.
I had my fair shares of trauma bonding with people. It helped actually build certain relationships, and that also tore down some relationships. People who I don't speak to, or just people who like now I just look different. I look at different because it's like, did we really have a connection on a genuine level, or it's just like, you got hurt, I got hurt, we talked about it. Oh shit, we're some Skittles. You the green one, I'm the blue one. We in the same pack. Then after it's like a sour Skittle together. Now you eat the sour Skittle. You're like, ugh. So I look at it. It's like, nah, we don't really got a bond now. But you live and you learn. Like I look back at that. I say it was a lesson. It made me realize different things. It's okay to share some trauma, but it's not all of it. Because sometimes that person might take that and throw it back in your face too.
Talk about it.
And then now, just like you just gotta set boundaries with, I guess you could say, certain trauma. If you feel like you're comfortable enough to share that trauma with somebody, cool. But just set boundaries. Because you never know when that might come back. A small little thing like, oh, you remember this? Now,
Spit it right back in.
this is you now. Just remembering everything in your brain, like, you had to go there. So, yeah.
Yeah, nah, I've definitely formed some. Personally, I've definitely formed some with people. I've definitely formed those type of relationships and cultivated those with people, but it sucks because you're realizing, you're looking back on it, you're realizing you're just like, yo, like our relationship isn't really as pure. It's more so because we connect in these certain things. You've been through this, I've been through this, so this is where we've met in the middle. Now we just have this great alliance. Whereas in reality, like I was saying earlier, like I know in any other circumstance, this probably wouldn't have been a connection that was formed. And it's like some people can play off that, right? I think it was you last episode. You were saying like you can easily be manipulated because of that.
Yes, you
And with me, I know in mine I was because I formed those relationships, and then because I knew the person, I knew what they've been through. It was kind of just like, I don't want to be the another person that like just walked away from you or put you through, like you had to do X, Y, and Z, and I just walked away. So you know what? I'm going to stay. Like, even though granted, it's nothing fruitful for me to stay. Like, everybody would, in my position, well, any like forward-thinking person in my position would leave. But I'm going to stay, but you stay. And you keep doing it, and it's like you're getting put through certain things, and you're just like, nah, I can't though, because I know this person beneath all the rubbish is a good thing there, right? Even though, granted, like I said, I know I should leave, but you stay. And I think that's what some people, like a lot of people go through that, right? Especially like people who've been like physically, like domestically abused and all that stuff, is because sometimes with them, they stay in those relationships because, and I know, I've had a woman that even told me, like, yeah, like he was doing, like, he's put his hands on me, he did X, Y, and Z, but it's like, I know what he'd been through. I knew what he was going through at the time, so it was like hard for me to just walk away because I know he needed help. And how many times have you heard people say, I know they needed help? I know
I've been the person who said that.
Say that shit all fucking time.
I'm saying, I know they need help, so how can I just leave?
Walk away from them.
If I know they need help, and I know if I feel like if I leave, they probably will never get the help.
Yep.
Like, right? Like, because sometimes as people, we want to be the ones that like help. We want to help people and push people towards getting the help. And we always want to do that, right? We always want to be the ones that like. I'm not saying like as a bragging thing.
Ethical person,
right? But it's like, for example, if I meet you, I found, and Nate was like, I had X, Y, and Z friends that just did me wrong and left me for dry, right? How the fuck me as like you said, as an ethical person, I'm gonna just come along and do the same shit,
You don't
right?
want to stay around.
It's kind of because like now I'm just leaving him to stay like that.
Yeah.
I can't do that. If I'm any type of a good person, I gotta stay there. And no matter what me and his relationship might go through, I'm gonna try to fight and put up. Even if we go back and forth, I'm gonna try to stay because I'm trying to help you. And it's like a lot of.
I show you different.
I don't mean to cut you, but the thing about that is like there is, with that kind of thinking, there's a gift and a curse with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, like, there's nobody putting a gun to your head saying you got to stay with this person. Because at the end of the day, we all grow at our own pace through our own experiences. Just because you shared, that person has shared those experiences with you, doesn't mean that you're a bad person for having to go and deal with your own, or just let them deal with their own.
That's where the bond comes from, because it's like you've gotten to know them now.
Yeah.
So if I know you be below everything else, how can I walk away? Like if I know, I'm not saying me per se. I'm just saying,
no,
like,
I know.
this is the thinking. That's like I know a couple of people who've been in these situations where
I've been in that situation.
that is why they stayed. Like because it's like I can't. Like I know this motherfucker needs help.
But I would just like to, just my last
Yeah, go
thing.
ahead.
It's kind of like, if that relation, I ain't gonna lie, regardless of the trauma bond, if that's a real friendship, relationship in any type of way, it will show itself even after the trauma. And I mean that in the sense where both you have healed from your own shit and that person has healed from their own shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of bond. That's a bond. You know what I'm saying? That's just an overall bond. You know what I'm saying? That's a friendship. You know what I mean? The fact, because then you go through stuff, you change. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that someone will take the time to sit down with you or hit you up here and there to be like, to relearn you, you know what I'm saying, to understand you after what you've been through, if you had to leave or not, that's the type of person I feel like is really there for you.
Last thing I'm gonna say on it, but also too with some of those things though, and I realize, and this is a lot of people do this sometimes, and I remember even like within dating, right? And like I said, this is the last thing I'm gonna say about, and then I'm done. When it comes to dating, and I was just having a conversation with somebody yesterday about this. We form these connections with people out of one, being alone and lonely, and not dealing with nobody for a while, and also two, we never really take the time to fully. We don't really know ourselves, and also two, there's certain things we have to work on in ourselves, and they might have certain things like we overlook a lot of things.